Alrighty, Mr. Matthew Larson here, talking about cultures of South and Southwest Asia, our first unit here in cultural studies. Now, as we get going, where is that? So South and Southwest Asia is going to be this area you can see on the screen right here. Most of the countries have names on them, however, all of them don't. Big areas we're going to look at is present-day Turkey, right here with the Ottoman Empire. We're also going to look at present-day Iran and Persia with the Safavid Empire. And we're going to look at India, talking about Sikhism and the Mughal Empire right down here. Now, first thing we really need to dive into when it comes to talking about this time period is religion. Now, religion is important when it comes to understanding history and the past because religion, much like today, is going to influence the culture of a society. It's really next to impossible to understand any of these civilizations that we're talking about, particularly Sikhism, because it is a religion, without understanding the influence of religion on that culture. So when we're talking about the Ottoman Empire, it's important to understand the influence of Sunni Islam. When we're talking about the Safavids, Shia Islam, and then we're talking about the Mughals, again, Sunni Islam. And the Sikhism and Hinduism is going to come into there as well. You really can't understand culture of a society and a government without understanding the influence of religion and the influence religion has played on that culture's history and that culture's government. So it's important to understand that. Number two, it's important to understand that religion can be used to justify power. Do not underestimate the ability of religion to justify power. We're going to see a number of examples of this as we go into this unit. When we're talking about the Ottomans and the Ottoman Sultan and why they're significant, we're talking about the Safavid Empire and how they have power and use religion to kind of justify their power, and how they make a certain religion the state religion. We talk about the Janissaries in the Ottoman Empire and the same thing happening in the Safavid Empire as well. And then the Mughal Empire, which is Islamic, but is really open to different cultures. We're going to kind of do some comparing and contrasting right through there. Also, it's important to understand that religion can be used and abused by governments as well. They can be used to oppress individuals. We're going to talk about some examples of that happening. So I'm going to talk about how people could be abusing religion in terms of gaining their own power, and we'll go into some more detail on that. Now, specifically, the religions we'll be talking about right here in order to understand this unit at this time period in South and Southwest Asia. First and foremost is going to be Christianity. It's going to be the one we're going to talk about initially. You're going to hear two different groups talked about, Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox. So Roman Catholic just referred to as Catholic, Eastern Orthodox frequently referred to just as Orthodox. Now this is going to come in the little split right through here, but really with the split of the Roman Empire. It was a very large empire, as we know how it was split between East and West. Eastern Roman Empire had its capital in Byzantium, modern-day Istanbul, and the Roman Catholic Church. The Western Roman Empire had its capital in the historic city of Rome. Some differences in practicing of the faith, virtually the same, but practiced in some different ways. Initially, it's going to change kind of over time until ultimately they're going to break apart, and we're going to have the Roman Empire fall. So we got Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic, the two branches of Christianity we'll be talking about at this time period. There was going to be some others that are going to come along later, but it's going to be outside the scope and after the stuff we're talking about now. Islam is going to be another one that's going to be crucial and important to understand coming out of modern day Saudi Arabia. Particularly, we need to understand the difference between Sunni and Shia. Largely when we're talking about the Ottoman Empire and the Safavid Empire and the conflict that they're going to have, it is important to understand some of the basics differences right through here. Again, we're not going to go into a lot of detail necessarily about the differences between like Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic or Sunni and Shia, but we need to understand that there are some branches. Just because you're a Christian doesn't mean you necessarily believe the same thing as all Christians. Same within Islam. Minor, kind of different flavors is a good way of looking at it. So it's like chocolate or vanilla ice cream. They're both ice cream. They're both good. But we really kind of want to break that down as well and understand some of the differences in culture that could be coming from this. Hinduism is going to be another important one to understand. Hinduism is going to be based in coming out of India, modern-day India. So we'll talk a little bit about Hinduism, particularly in terms of the caste system and how that's going to influence Hindu society and society in India. It's going to be really important to understand Hinduism when it comes to talk about the Mughal Empire, particularly how Akbar the Great, the leader, the kind of most influential and famous leader from the Mughal Empire, how he used Hinduism and kind of used it as a way of building his society and making it stronger, because he was not Hindu himself, he was Muslim, but how he used that and kind of built upon an idea of religious tolerance. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And lastly, we're going to be talking about Sikhism. Sikhism is going to be a faith also founded in India, kind of going to blend aspects of Hinduism with aspects of Islam. So we're going to see this kind of connection right through there. And lastly, Buddhism. Buddhism is also going to come out of India. So India really has brought the world some major religions. So we're going to talk about Buddhism and the influence that Buddhism is going to play on society, particularly when we're talking about South Asia, right through here. If you have any questions or comments, please do let me know. We'll discuss this further in class. Otherwise, I will see you later. Good luck.